Wonder Woman is finally out, and we are getting a sequel.
And does soul really have soul?
Movie
Movie
Mind.
minds.
Hey guys, this is Ish,
And this is Ant.
and we're Movie Minds, where we keep you up to date with all the movie news, reviews, and some shows.
And guys, follow us on all our social media platforms, guys. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We appreciate your guys' subscriptions, views. Guys, we're super blessed when you guys are just asking questions and just being super interactive with us. We love it. We love answering them. And we just really, really are grateful. So other than that, we'll get into it.
Yeah, let's get into some worthy mentions, y'all.
Yes, sir. Well, it seems like this COVID pandemic, it's still very much here. I think we've been into it for almost about a year now, and it's still causing a lot of issues. It was reported that the movie theaters and the TV shows were recommended by the CDC to actually make, to pause their productions, to pause anything that's going on in movies right now. And so when we were thinking that everything is coming back to normal to some degree, they do this and they're thinking about shutting everything down. So what do you think about that, man?
Dude, it's kind of unfortunate because there is humongous second wave going around, even like talks of like a new
Yeah.
strain. Even with the vaccine coming out, it still seems very alarming numbers coming from
Yes.
Hollywood in itself, California, and so I hate to say this, but maybe it is a good idea to start pausing production, even though it hurts me because there's a lot of movies, man, and TV shows that are dear to my heart that I know that are in production right now that might get affected by this call to action. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you're right. I feel that it's the right thing to do. It's not easy to make one of these calls, especially because we're talking about thousands of jobs and already thousands of jobs being lost in that area and people that are suffering because of it. And so I think right now, as far as when it's concerning Hollywood and it's concerning, South California, because that's where it's all going on. If you see the numbers, our rate of COVID cases is the highest that there is, and compared to all other states and what's going on over there. And so we're purple. We're straight up purple, man. We're supposed to really be quarantined. Don't get out of your house. Kind of have your mask on, and not even think about going anywhere. And so I think because of that, and I think because of the alarming surge of cases and people that are unfortunately dying from this virus, it's important for us to be responsible. I honestly, I think that's the best move that they could possibly do, is to put a halt on everything right now and see if the numbers go down. I know the vaccine is out, and hopefully by having this vaccine out maybe in a month or so, we'll start seeing that numbers go down because people are getting less sick, people are getting better, and hopefully we don't have to worry about this anymore. So I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, man.
So we will see what happens, man. In other news, which I love, this is something is from dear to my heart, that I love that they did, is they just put out the trailer a few days ago for the Coming to America 2 movie with reprising his role, of course, as Prince Hakeem. Eddie Murphy is coming back, and the trailer is left to be criticized by us. So, buddy, what do you think?
Well, honestly, like I really liked it, man. Like I don't know what's the big deal on it. I know, I don't know, maybe like the tone of it is a little bit different from what I felt. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a little different from what the movie was about, but it's different times, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You can't get like an 80s film
Right.
vibe, and so I kind of like the idea that they were throwing out there with like just changing characters and stuff like that. Eddie Murphy taking on multiple roles and Arsenio Hall even like coming back. and that's great to see him in the neck of things. So, yeah, I like.
Right. Yeah, it's been getting highly criticized. That's not been that it wasn't a good trailer, that it didn't give the excitement that people wanted or expected for Coming to America 2. It was picked up by Amazon late in the year. It was seeming to be coming out with another production company. I think it was Paramount or something had it first, and Paramount was I'm sorry, Prime. Amazon was able to buy it off of them, and now it's coming out on Prime. The trailer in itself, I think, it did lack to some degree. You do see a lot of the recurring characters from the first one. You see the guy that sings "I Believe the Children." You got that guy, Sexual Chocolate, and you got Arsenio Hall, the pastor, coming back, which is so funny. And then you have a bunch of the characters that came out in the first movie. I mean, they look much older now,
Yeah,
but it's left to be seen what they can do with these characters. It looks like Hakeem is going to go look for his son that's in America, and that's why they're coming back. And it looks like James Earl Jones, the king of Zamunda, it looks like he's not doing so good. He's in a bed, so we'll see what happens with that. And then obviously one of my most favorite characters, and I'm glad that they put him back there, are the barbers. Those barbers in that first movie were so funny to me, and I would laugh all the time and rewind the movies to just see their part again. I don't know the kid that they had in the barber chair this time, but the one in the first movie, they had Cuba Gooding Jr. when Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't anybody back then. He was a nobody, and he was the kid that was sitting down in that chair. But I do think there's promise there. I'm definitely going to watch it, and hopefully, it doesn't disappoint, man. I kind of did enjoy it, but it did lack. So,
yeah.
fingers crossed. But those are your worthy mentions, buddy.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's go on to hot tops. Well, this week we have very little big news except for the big releases that our streaming services that have come to save our boredom. They released
Right.
Wonder Woman and Soul, among other things. We're going to be talking about those two today. Wonder Woman finally hit HBO Max, and its sequel has already been announced. And let's talk about it, man. Do you think that Wonder Woman 84 met the hype? What do you think?
Bro, it didn't meet the hype, dude. It really just didn't meet the hype. I was disappointed with it. I'll just tell you guys that right off the bat. Overall opinions about the movie is that it shot up, it to try to do its best. I know where Patty Jenkins was going. I know what she was going for. I feel like I almost can feel what that woman was trying to accomplish with this movie. However, it did lack. It did fall a bit because of areas where it just was too long. I think she spent too long on character development, and then there were some things that I felt were a bit too. It just lacked heart in areas, I feel, and because of it, the whole movie suffered. But those are my overall. As far as there's some great scenes in it, and it's a salvageable movie. Obviously, absolutely, I do think that as well. But overall, my initial thoughts is I don't want to watch this movie again.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was really close to watching it today again, just so I could I have the movie fresh in my mind. But I agree with you on a lot of things. I do think overall it was a disappointment. And I mean we'll get into it. Like we'll talk about plot and characters and what worked, what didn't. But overall, I just can't understand why they took this route of the story being what it was. Like I think the number one wrong turn on this whole project was really the whole plot. The plot was just I just didn't like it at all. Like Wonder Woman has but so much lore. Like, dude, they have a whole island
Right.
of like ancient Greek gods and like all this lore that they could dive into. They could dive into even like deep into like the new gods and like how they come into play. And they picked a freaking stone that makes people's wishes come true. Like,
Yeah.
dude, what the F, bro? Like, I didn't know that that was the plot. I had no idea. The
Yeah,
trailer
you did, right?
the trailers looked like it was gonna be an epic ride. Like I thought that they were like keeping things hidden from us. With like the whole
Right.
lightning like riding, which was cool. I really dig that stuff, like where she was using the lasso to like glide. That was dope.
Yes.
Good job, Patty Jenkins, on that one. That was really cool. But the whole, I thought they were hiding things from us. That's why I thought that, oh, well, we'll get the big epic stuff like later on, we're going to see some cool stuff. Well, I was highly disappointed on that. So, as a comic book film, I was disappointed on it. I don't think this is going to be something that a lot of people on the general public will enjoy. Now, if you're a
Hmm.
film buff and you love the art of film, you might find a little bit deeper meaning to this whole story. And I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that part of like the message that it was trying to get to through to us, as a whole society, in a sense, if you want to talk about art being the way it is, and film being the really the one true art that is reaching generations in the world. And this film did have a message to say, and I do agree with it, but the execution was sad. So
Yeah, like, and because she just picked such a, it's almost like she opened a book, like an elementary book, like a Dr. Seuss book, and said, okay, this is what I want to make my movie about. And when you say that, there's a rock and you grab it and you make a wish and anything you want is true. It's almost like, okay, could we put a bit more thought into plot than something that's just so easily, and we were all thinking like, how, I forget his name, the Clive character, the Pine, Chris Pine character.
uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, his character. I forget his name right now in the movie, but how does he come back? Everybody was just like wondering, how does he come back? And it's as simple as a wish. And so yes, things I did enjoy is I did enjoy that opening scene with the little girl and going through that obstacle course with the Amazonians, and how they see her that she loses, and her learning a lesson from that, and then integrating that lesson throughout the whole movie. I did enjoy that. I love when Patty Jenkins does something like that, because it does make you appreciate what she's trying to say. I also appreciated the chemistry again between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine when they had to say goodbye, and that scene was powerful. I mean, it made me kind of a bit misty, because it was hard. You can tell, like, Wonder Woman was like, man, dude, I deserve one thing. Never do anything for me. This I deserve. And you almost feel her pain, and you want to like just ride it with her, and just be like, hey man, is there any other way? Yeah, she doesn't have her full power yet, but let her keep this dude. And also myself thinking that, because I want the next movies and things. So it was a little selfishness in that part too. And yes, the Sheeta character and the Pedro Pascal character, which is the villain in the movie, it felt like they concentrated too long on their character development, and it just took away from the movie a bit. I didn't see Pedro Pascal like that. I was kind of disappointed with his character. I didn't like him at all. He's not going to be a memorable character, other than the fact that he's probably going to be one of the worst villains that I have. Obviously, you know what happens at the end with him, which is fine, I guess. But it didn't have that that feeling of the Wonder Woman movie, even of other DC movies that I had. I'm not even putting this movie better than other DC movies that I've seen thus far. And so I think one of the things that Patty Jenkins is going to go back, because they did greenlight right away a Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah.
And so she did say also, and when they asked her about it, that she left the cheetah character ambiguous, meaning that there is still a possibility that Kristen Wiig, the girl that plays Cheetah, to come back to the third. But we will see what happens. I mean, if I were to have to give it a score, of the movie a score, I would definitely give it right now a C minus. That would be my score for it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Wonder Woman 3?
Well, I think that I agree with a lot of the character stuff that you just said. I did enjoy Pedro Pascal's very like uh like variety in his character. I knew what they were going for. It's an 80s villain, but I don't like that. So whatever. Wonder Woman 3 being greenlit is I think it's studios like doubling down on like, hey, this is what we believed in. We believed in Patty Jenkins. We believed in the cast. We believe that this is a good decision, and we want to prove it to you guys. So we're green lighting Wonder Woman 3. I pray to God that they move away from the whole MacGuffin thing writing. Whoever freaking is writing out there, just get away from that. Get to character development being the center of your story, of your plot. Like, let's talk about, because that's why it worked so well in the first Wonder Woman, because we got to know Princess Diana. We got to know Wonder Woman as who she was, and that was really the main focus of the whole film, and that's why it works so well. If we could just get back to something like that, where we're not trying to get to know a villain over throughout the whole freaking story, especially one that is so selfish and so egocentric that it kind of collides with their main plot. Like, it just doesn't make sense with the theme. It was not cohesive, man. Like, the story,
No, I agree.
It's just not. Anyway, so I pray to God that they actually go for a deeper dive into another big character within the Wonder Woman sphere that makes sense. So like, I would like to see her mother get like, why is her relationship with her mother so like significant, and why is it affecting her now, stuff like that, because that's what Soul did, and we will talk about Soul in a bit. But
right,
it was, though, that's why stories work, because we're committed to a specific character. If Wonder Woman 3 could get that done, they're gonna hit another home run, because I know Patty Jenkins can do it. But they have to go bigger on a comic book scale as well. Like, they have a big budget, man. Like, let's see them flex it. Like, bring out big characters that the fans of Wonder Woman love. There's big people, man. There's like Darkseid's, which is like Thanos of the DC universe. Thanos's daughter is like Wonder Woman's stepsister or something like that. Like stuff like that, like family conflict that brings out character development. You know what I mean?
And let's not forget that this movie was periodic. So because it was in the 80s, and Patty Jenkins did mention that anything moving forward with Wonder Woman 3, that she's going to put it now in the present, and anything moving forward. And I think we will see those things that you want to see. And I totally agree that it should be those kind of characters, to those caliber of characters. I think DC can't risk making a movie like this again, because it was a little bit generic, to be honest. And because they didn't use those characters that you mentioned right now, it hurts them moving forward, or people taking DC seriously, because Wonder Woman was the top of the game for and so they made this movie. It wasn't that great. I mean, although it did make 16.7 million, which is the best that any movie has done during this pandemic in the theaters, and I believe HBO also got a massive amount of new subscribers, and a lot of people were watching the movie on HBO Max. So it was a home run in a lot of ways, other than obviously the movie itself. But we will see what happens moving forward, my brother.
I'm sorry, and I didn't give my score either.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. My score will absolutely be a C. Yeah, I would have to give it a C plus, because I do
C plus
certain things, But again, it was just a mess on a lot of levels. So yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, man, we will see what happens. So for our second hot top, second one, Ish is right. We will be talking about the new Pixar movie that just came out on Disney Plus, starring Mr. Jamie Foxx as a middleman trying to get a jazz gig and accidentally falls to his death and becomes a soul.
Yeah.
And so the movie takes a lot of twists and turns, and it was very, very, very interesting to say the least. What did you think? Did Pixar Soul hit the mark at the caliber of Coco or Up movies, or did it kind of not?
Okay. So I'm gonna put on some stuff out there for you guys. So the first part is that I saw it. Okay, I saw it in Spanish.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I was planning on watching Wonder Woman in Spanish as well with subtitles. But HBO Max didn't have freaking subtitles. All right. So I couldn't watch that with my family that only speaks Spanish. So that you fail there, HBO Max, you suck. Secondly, yeah, Soul was there, and I guess I figured that it's a Pixar film, it'll be great. So I watched it, and I did enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think I got robbed, other than the voice acting, And so I was literally planning on watching it again today, but I couldn't. So anyway, was it as good as Up and Coco? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't say that far along, because I do believe those two films are a 10. Those are 10s, man, for sure. Those are A pluses for sure. But was it a Pixar film? Yes, absolutely 100%. I believe that this film actually really hit the mark in a lot of areas, in a lot of things. It hit a different culture, and it hit a lot of tones for those who are artists, and those are they're creatives. You are gonna love this film. You're gonna see how much it connects with them, and you'll even connect. You'll be able to put some wording to what you feel sometimes when you really are loving and enjoying what you're doing. You're passionate, and that's something really, really cool that Pixar quantified that. It was very creative. I don't know who the hell did that, but my gosh, those guys in Pixar know what the hell they're doing. And then secondly, those who are psych majors that are they're psychologists or whatever, they'll freaking love this, because I'm all about that right now. I'm all about temperaments and Enneagram and getting to know thyself and all that stuff. And this movie was speaking to me in different levels, man. Seriously, it was. So I really enjoy that. I think a lot of people will connect with the film, definitely. So
Yeah, I think the first reaction that I had when I started watching it is that I love the heart that the movie had. Obviously, I wouldn't say particularly myself that this was really a kids movie. I almost felt like it shouldn't have been a kids movie, like a Pixar movie. I felt like this movie could have actually been brought to you by a studio in real life studio, or something like DreamWorks doing something that's a bit different, that is just not adheres to just children. Because it's Pixar and it really is for kids. I mean, it's for everyone. Obviously, they tend to everyone's need.
yeah,
But I think this movie, more than anything, more than any other movies that I've seen in Pixar, it really just didn't have very many musicals. It didn't, sing to me very many times. And it just really made me think. And it was so smart the way that you did it. And you're absolutely right, about self-awareness, about, when you're in the zone. I love the way that they were able to figure out, when you're in the zone, you're in another kind of realm. It's almost like these realms that they visited, and
because doesn't it feel like that though? Didn't they hit the right on the mark? You just zone out.
Yes,
You
with
just
the great beyond, and then just with your subconscious, and just all these areas of what is a soul, and it's a little baby, and then it just, you know, jumps to earth and gets into one of these physical bodies, and then when you die, you become, and you're going. It's just the way they really explain the story, and the way that you know, Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey, the chemistry that they had together, because Tina Fey voices the little girl, and Jamie Foxx is the other the older African American guy. I love their chemistry. I even love that one guy in the pirate ship and what he meant, and how he was able to you know, interfere into people's thoughts, and it just really made you think a lot. I really liked the movie, man. I really did. Now, comparable to the movies that I mentioned, and I only mentioned those because those are some of the last Pixar movies that just came out. Absolutely, it doesn't. They're not at the same. It's not at the same level, but I don't even want to put it in the same category of movie. I think Soul, its own kind of thing over here. That's something that Pixar did something differently, and I really did enjoy it. Me personally, I'm gonna give you the score right now. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B, a solid B. I think it was that good. A B is a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it. I'll watch it again. I'm going to watch it again.
I might actually fall asleep to that movie. So that's absolutely. I agree, man. I totally absolutely agree on the things. I'm gonna watch it just for the voice acting, because I missed it. So I want to see what Jamie Foxx did in this. The barber shop scene, that whole thing, I want to see what Jamie Foxx did in that. Like, I really am. I cannot wait.
That barber shop scene is so cool, man. Just the way that they make it seem, and self-realization too, you know, everything that's going on in the movie, and how that character kind of just, wow, that's how I've lived my life. And I think the ending point of the whole movie, and I think the heart of the movie, is really basically just saying, hey, appreciate what you have, live in the moment. That yes, you think that your purpose is this, but it could be whatever, you know, life is just a crazy thing. And I think I'm experiencing that in my own life right now. And it just hit a lot of, like you said, man, it just hit a lot of boxes for me, and I really enjoyed it. Only reason why I'm giving it a B and not an A, because I did feel like the movie at times felt to me like, okay, get there already, like in certain areas. But other than that, I thought it was great. You know what? I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an A. I have to say that I really did enjoy it. I, even with like not having the voice actors, which I know it's gonna like just, I'm gonna love it, but just story, mechanics of it, even the score. I was listening to the score yesterday where I was working, and I enjoyed it so much. So I'm gonna give it a solid A. Again, Up and Coco, those are like A pluses, man. So
yeah, it's A plus.
Absolutely. But Pixar, again, I think they did it again.
Yep, there you go. Soul review.
Yes. All right, guys. So let's go on to streaming and chilling.
Streaming and chilling. What is your pick there, Ish, this week for your stream and chill?
All right, guys. Well, this is the last streaming and chill of the year. So I needed to like mention what's true to my heart, what has my first love. The Mandalorian. Well, it's not the actual Mandalorian, but it is Disney Plus's Gallery, which is a docu-series about different franchises that they have. But this one is about the Mandalorian, and it's about season 2. It's about an hour long special. I don't know if they're going to do other episodes. If they do, they're going to release it next Friday. But they have one episode up that's an hour long, and it's all about season 2. It breaks down, it kind of takes you on a general outline of each episode of season 2, and you see some really cool like imagery, cool like conversations between directors about specific amazing scenes that we loved about season 2, except for the big reveal at the very end of season 2. But I think that I did that on purpose, because they're probably going to focus on one whole episode for that, for Luke. And so the whole episode is amazing for those who are creatives and that love to know the intricacies about big productions and like just what the thought process is behind huge productions like the #1 show of the year, pretty much, The Mandalorian. You're gonna love this series. It's episode 1 for season 2. Go check it out, Gallery.
Gotta go check that out. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had time to watch it. There's just been so much. But I'm gonna check it out probably tonight. For my pick, guys, this week is a movie that I'm gonna be honest. I was looking for it on Prime for a while, and I'm thinking because I'm looking online, and I'm like checking out that a lot of people have watched it already. And I guess this movie came out in certain areas in the UK and overseas or internationally before anything else, before it came out over here or it was available over here. But the movie, and I was excited for it. It's called Greenland with Gerard Butler, and it follows a family that Gerard Butler and his wife they had some falling out. They were going through a divorce, but they get back together. He was unfaithful, and they have a child together. And on the news, they see that there was going to be some they called they're kind of like asteroids, meteors that were going to hit Earth, but it was the media was making it seem like it was not a big deal, and all of a sudden one hits and it wipes out whole cities. And so it's a movie about the end of the world. And at first I thought, this movie hasn't been promoted that well. Nobody really knows about it. So I'm thinking to myself that the graphics weren't going to be very good. But boy, was I wrong. The graphics are very, very good in it. And I was very impressed in how they depicted the whole thing and the way they really showed when people know now that the world is going to end. And so they have just one of the things that I loved about the movie in the beginning was that they have friends, and they find out that the family, Gerard Butler's family, gets picked. Just very similarly like Deep Impact, they get picked because of what he knows, and he builds buildings. He's a skyscraper construction or architect. And so you need those to reconstruct, Earth. Yes, and so the friends were all at the house when they get like the call, and on the TV it came out, so they were able to see they were having a barbecue, and all the other friends were like, "Wait, why didn't we get a call? Why isn't my cell phone ringing?" And so one of the families are like, when they're leaving, one of the ladies urged them to take their daughter, but they couldn't, they wouldn't let them in. And I think the movie does deteriorate a little bit in the middle, because they go through, things in the movie where I felt like they didn't have to, issues that happen, day-to-day things that can happen. Don't get me wrong, that can happen. There's like a kidnapping in the movie for a little while, and then it got better. I felt like they were just looking to something to add because they didn't feel like they had enough. If they would have taken a few things out of the movie and just made the movie a bit shorter and maybe concentrated on something else, I think the movie for me would have hit even better. It's Greenland, guys. Check it out. I love the story. Gerard Butler is always great. I don't know if you guys like that guy. He comes out in a lot of things, but I've been a big fan with him since 300. And so anything that guy does, I always check out. The name is Greenland on Prime, Amazon. Check it out, guys. It's about the end of the world. And I'm going to go ahead and give that movie a B minus. B minus.
Okay.
I liked it. I really liked it.
Dang, it's on Prime, like it's streaming for free.
No, not for free. No, you gotta buy it. Buy it, but it's there. It's $19.99 to watch it, but it's still streaming there. So you guys can check it.
We're not gonna get our stimulus checks yet. I don't know, man. I can't.
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen.
Hey, have you seen P.S. I Love You, which is another Gerard Butler movie?
I know you told me about this a long time ago,
hey,
and I have not watched.
You want to cry like a little girl? You watch that movie, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I got to check it out, man. Is it about death and sickness?
It's a little bit about that. I'm not gonna lie, but
see, I hate watching it. Guys, I'll tell you one thing. One thing that I hate watching. I'll watch end of the world movies, war movies, all this. I really don't like watching things about when people get sick and die and all that stuff. I just feel like I don't
Like,
want that in
bro.
my spirit. But I get it. You know, we all need it sometimes to like really.
Yo, it's a good romance. Like, it's not a really comedy, but yeah, I mean, it could be. But yeah, it's good. So anyway,
Well, those are your streaming chills, guys.
mm-hmm.
We thank you so much for joining us again, guys. Thank you for all the subscriptions, all the views, all the likes. And as always, and like always, stay
Movie minded.
movie minded.
Peace.
Woo!